All right, today we're going to follow a single drop of water on a pretty incredible journey. It's a transformation that happens every single day right under our feet, and most of us never even think about it. We're going inside a wastewater treatment plant. I mean, think about it. It's such a simple action, right? But what it kicks off is this amazingly complex and honestly vital process. That water doesn't just disappear. Nope. It sets off on an epic journey. So, here's the roadmap for our trip. We're going to start right from your home, go through three really critical cleaning stages, and then, and this is the cool part, we'll see how what we think of as waste actually gets turned into a super valuable resource. Okay, so it all starts here. Every time you flush, take a shower, or wash the dishes, that water dives into this huge, hidden network of underground pipes. You can almost picture it like a massive highway system, where all the lanes are heading to one central destination, the treatment plant. And once our water droplet gets there, what's the mission? Well, the goal is simple, but the job itself, not so easy. It's to systematically remove every single type of contaminant you can imagine. We're talking physical garbage, dissolved chemicals, and all those invisible little biological critters. Let's dive into stage one. I like to call this the big cleanup. This is where the plant basically acts like a bouncer at a club, you know? It's getting rid of all the obvious large-scale troublemakers right at the door. And it happens in three main steps. First step, the water passes through these giant bar screens. Think of them like massive rakes that catch all the big stuff. You know, plastics, paper, cans. Then, the water's flow gets slowed way down in what's called a grit chamber, which lets all the heavy things like sand and pebbles just drop to the bottom. And finally, everything comes to a complete rest in a huge settling tank. Now, inside this settling tank, something really important happens. All the heavy organic solids, they sink to the bottom. That gunk is what we call sludge. At the same time, all the lighter stuff like oils and grease floats right up to the top, creating this layer of scum. So getting them out is pretty straightforward. The scum gets skimmed off the top, and the sludge gets scraped from the bottom. And the water left in the middle? It's way cleaner. We call it clarified water, and it's now ready for round two. All right, on to stage two, the biological treatment. We've handled all the big physical junk, but what about all the dissolved waste we can't see? Well, for that, we bring in a microscopic army of helpers. This clarified water now flows into an enormous container called an aeration tank. The best way to think about this place is like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and the guests of honor are literally billions of hungry bacteria. And the stars of this show are what we call aerobic bacteria. Now, aerobic is just a sciencey way of saying they need oxygen to survive and do their job. And that's exactly why air is constantly being pumped into the tank. It's like giving them an energy drink that makes them grow fast and get super, super hungry. So what are they eating exactly? Oh, you know, all the stuff we can't see but definitely want gone. They are chowing down on dissolved organic gunk like food waste and feces, basically converting all of that pollution into more bacteria. After this huge feast, the well-fed bacteria start to naturally clump together. This whole mixture then flows into another settling tank, where these clumps, which are now called activated sludge, sink to the bottom, leaving much, much cleaner water behind. We are almost there. We're at the final stage now. The water looks clean, but it's not totally safe yet. There's one last chemical polish needed to make sure we zap any remaining dangerous germs. This is what's known as tertiary treatment. This final polish is called chlorination. Basically, chlorine is added to the water, and it acts as this incredibly powerful disinfectant. It's the ultimate safety check. It kills any lingering harmful bacteria and other nasty microorganisms, making the water finally safe to release back into the environment. But wait, our story isn't quite over. Remember all that sludge we collected way back in stage one? It doesn't just get thrown away. In a modern plant, this waste is about to become a surprisingly valuable resource. So all that sludge gets pumped into a big, sealed tank called a digester. And inside, a completely different type of bacteria gets to work. These are anaerobic bacteria, which means they work their magic without any oxygen. They just digest the sludge. And this is where the whole process becomes really sustainable and just brilliant. This digestion process creates two amazing resources. First, it produces biogas, which is captured and used to generate electricity, often enough to help power the whole plant. And second, the leftover dried solids are turned into a nutrient-rich compost or fertilizer. How cool is that? So, after all of that, the physical screening, the bacteria buffet, and that final chemical polish, how effective is this whole thing? Get this, a modern treatment plant can remove over 99.9% of the impurities from wastewater. That is an absolutely incredible feat of engineering and biology working together. And so, the journey for our little water droplet finally comes to an end. It's clean, it's safe, and it's ready to be returned to the natural environment. It'll rejoin rivers, lakes, or the ocean, ready to be a part of the water cycle all over again. It's a truly amazing transformation, right? But it does leave us with one last question to chew on. As our world keeps searching for sustainable water sources, is putting this clean water back into a river really the end of its journey? Or could it be the beginning of a whole new chapter?